Hi. In poker, there's always someone at the table whose role in the game is to lose money to the pros. In poker parlance, he is the fish. If you play poker, how can you find out who is the fish at your table? It's simple. Look around. If you don't know who is the fish, then you are it. So why am I mentioning it now again? Because I'm going to reveal to you my market's fish test to help you find the market suckers. What is the test and who are the suckers? They may not be whom you think and are more numerous than you imagine. Here is the test. Even though I am retired now, I still know many who actively manage money. Private money, hedge funds, mutual funds, pension funds, all kinds of funds. That is, the money they manage is in theirs. Some manage as little as a few tens of millions, others run billions. You'd think that most of them do some sleuthing on the side too. Well, you'd be wrong. Very few do. And those who do some sleuthing do very little of it. Why not? Because running big money is mostly an industrial numbers operation. You can't mess around with physical investigations. They're time-consuming. You just go by blips and ink. You have databases, CompuStat, Bloomberg, Edgar, or in Canada, CEDAR. You listen to conference call, you read research, you may even have an occasional chat with management on the phone, never seeing them face to face. In other words, you play the office game, numbers in, buy and sell, orders out. Once a quarter, you get the results. And if you did better than the market, that is the average of all your other competitors, you keep your job. If you did worse, some money may be taken away. At the extreme, you may even be fired. Sleuthing? Going out and investigating physically? Who has the time? You have 100 stocks in your portfolio. You have compliance to take care of, lawyers to meet, clients to schmooze. Besides, do you really need to sleuth? Can't you just find anything you want on the internet? Or by calling your favorite analyst at Morgan Stanley or Salomon? Surely they know how things really work? Keep on dreaming. The real world, not the family-rated one you see on the internet, works in a way that most money managers, especially big ones, do not even dare think about. And I can prove it via a simple test. I call it the Gunvor test. Have you ever heard of the name Gunvor? Probably not. But then you're probably not a pro, just an interested, talented amateur investor. So you may be forgiven. But the astonishing fact, at least astonishing to me, is that a very high number of big-time money managers who manage billions never heard the name Gunvor either. I checked. Now, why is this important? And in what way is it a test? Well, Gunvor is one of the largest private hedge funds in the world, one that specializes in trading resources, something like Glencore, or in the old days, Salomon Brothers' Fibro subsidiary, previously called Phillips Brothers. So you're probably asking, so why is Gunvor so special? It is special because the CIA had fingered it in 2013 officially as a company in which Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin had an economic interest. That is, the CIA claimed that Putin owned part of Gunvor, or rather not only directly, but via a frontman, a billionaire named Gennady Timchenko, whose daughter is married to the son of Putin's former transport ministers. This Timchenko was known to own 47% of Gunvor. Another 47% was owned by a company Norwegian top trader who named it after his wife, and the rest, 16%, owned by employees. Now, why did the CIA come out and say that Comrade Putin owned a piece of Gunvor? Because the previous few weeks, the US had tried to make Putin behave, and of course it didn't. So they tried to show him they can punish him and leaked out his alleged ownership, hinting they may withdraw banking privileges from Gunvor or perhaps take it off SWIFT, which would have caused it to close. The result? Within 24 hours, Comrade Timchenko sold his 47% share, which allegedly was Putin's, back to the company, which, according to rumors, then sold it to another large state player in commodities, maybe the Chinese. Why another? Is Putin a player in commodities? Well, perhaps not him directly, but Russia certainly is, and Gunvor did a lot of the trading in oil and gas produced by the Russian national oil company Gazprom and the Russian other oil and gas producer Surgutneftegas, both of which, by the way, in both of these, some of Russia's top honchos are also rumored to have shares. Yes, via nominees like Timchenko, also called cutouts in the intel world. But why do I use ignorance of all these obscure facts as a test of investment professionalism? For two big reasons. First, if you invest seriously, you are really playing poker on an open board with the sharpest players in the world. So, like in poker, you must know who these other players really are. That is, who you buy from and who you sell to. And Gunvor is a very big, very serious player indeed. But second reason, even more important, is that rumors were that Gunvor somehow had information that, shall we say, gave it an advantage over all other market players. Like what kind of information? From which sources? Allow me here to be vague, but instead mention a thriller written by David Ignatius, perhaps one of the best informed reporters in the US about the working of the hush-hush world. He's a serious reporter working for the Washington Post. And in his thriller, Blood Money, Ignatius tells of a fictional hedge fund in London, partly and secretly owned by the CIA, which feeds it grade A sleuth information, whether from CIA agents or from satellites, which enables the fictional hedge fund to get a big advantage over all market participants, who thereby become, yes, market fish. Needless to say, this fictional hedge fund makes tons of money in the book, of which the CIA, in Ignatius' book, takes a share. And this share is, of course, not subject to congressional scrutiny, and so becomes a black budget with which the fictional CIA spooks can conduct operations not subject to any elected official control. As a thriller, the book reads well, although the style is a bit stilted to my taste. However, the question is, did Ignatius take Gunvor as a model for his fictional hedge fund, partly owned by an intel agency that supplies the fund with top-notch sleuth information? A hedge fund that makes money for state actors that really own it? Who knows? But the fact remains that Timchenko did sell his share in Gunvor lickety-split within 24 hours after the CIA emphatically stated that Putin did own the shares, not him. And if what the CIA said was indeed so, I'm saying if, then the implication is that a few big market players may be investing even today based on state sleuth information that neither you nor I can have. How is that for a winning edge? And if this is so, again I'm saying if, then this would make all of us into the fish at the poker table, the chumps whose job is to lose money to the well-informed sharks. Which is why the name Gunvor always serves for me as a test of whether money managers I'm talking to are as well informed as they think they are. 9 of 10 are not, because if they don't even imagine the possibility of buying from or selling to state players, then they definitely are the fish. Imagine a hedge fund that notionally has access to satellite images second by second that show oil wells blowing up well before the market got wind of it, and can go long oil futures while the chumps are going short. That, by the way, is an actual scene in Ignatius' book. Or even worse, have access to wiretaps of corporate treasurers' phone calls before the earnings release. Wowza! In such a fictional world, how can anyone compete with a fund supported by a state agency for the benefit of either the agency or the state's officials? The answer is, in general, one cannot. Happily, though, in some cases one can, if one stays focused. Because giant hedge funds, even those allegedly well connected to the hush-hush world, are also large industrial operations, like the intel agencies themselves. Lots of info, lots of people, lots of targets, lots of money to be placed, lots of decisions, equals less focus. But you, as a private person who runs at most a few millions, you can focus. And when you really focus on a company, on its people, its clients, products, and the physical state of its inventory, like the famed cocoa futures investor who used to inspect cocoa trees in person a whole month every year, you can then become more knowledgeable than 99% of all other market players, the Gunvors included. Focus. To do this, you have to turn off your internet screen, read my book, put on your gumshoes, and go out to dig for physical facts. Physical, so as to take the money off the fish at the market poker table, of which you no longer be one. You will be surprised how well it pays. That's all for today. Leave me a comment below telling me what you think of the above. And if you like it, tell all your friends what they're subscribed to. I'll see you next time. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching.